It's preposterous. You have military gear. You're coming into people's neighborhoods and you're tear gassing their babies. Get out of here, dude. It's completely ridiculous. Anyway, I get sad about stuff like this, you know? Like, I guess it's there's always a higher priority for certain things, right? Like, in his mind, I think like maintaining American hegemony around the globe is much more stable. So he has like tremendous fear of any sort of pushback against that sort of thing. So then that causes him to snap out of like any sort of critical thinking skills he may have previously had. It could also be that he just has like unexamined, you know, racialized opinions, right? Like unexamined racialized opinions about like migrants, bad kinds of migrants that are coming into the country. So then like any sort of propaganda is very effective in moving him directly on the directly to the opposing side of the argument. But what I will never understand is how people like go back on virtually everything that they believe. You know what I mean? It's a combination of two things. They don't expect their messages to be read. They just want chat. They just want to chat void. They're not actually prepared to receive flack in front of 40,000 viewers. This is an acquired skill speaking from experience. Because like, yeah, Megaphonics, he's the real victim here. But yeah, it's just strange. It is very strange that you like this is a phenomena that I've observed in this community for, you know, I've been doing this for many, many years now, right? Like there are a lot of people who come in here, they tune in for years, and then there's like one issue that they disagree with me on, and it's like a super, super serious disagreement in their mind. And they don't go, okay, maybe I don't agree with them on this one, but I agree with them on like 90% of all these other things, right? And instead of just moving on from it, they basically go, I now hate everything that this person used to represent in my life. I don't have my own personal worldview. Like we've seen people go from literally being hyper woke in my chat to defending white people saying the N-word because they went over to Destiny's community and became fans of Destiny. And then they just like, and because the only organizing principle in that corner of the internet is basically resentment towards someone like myself, their North Star goes from, you know, trying to combat bigotry or try to educate people to how can I make everything about Hasan and how can I turn everything into a Hasan contest? Like, I don't know. I've never had a situation where I have let go of my personal convictions because someone was mean to me. Plenty of groups have been mean to me in the spaces that I occupy. You know, Black Twitter came after me with the Nicki Minaj saga, if you remember. Trans Twitter has come after me on numerous occasions because I said, you know, the Harry Potter game being boycotted is probably not the best move, but instead is better to like fundraise off of, you know, playing it for like a trans charity or something. But at the end of the day, like none of that changes my mentality. I mean, I haven't dropped combating anti-Semitism, even though virtually every official professional organization that is tasked with fighting anti-Semitism has called me the #1 anti-Semitic terrorist in this country. Like there are so many avenues where I would drop my values, drop my convictions if I operated off of like spite, right? But I don't. So I don't understand how others can do that, right? I don't understand how others can just turn around and be like, nope, this is like, I've literally decided like my whole worldview is shifted. It's a privilege of being a part of the ruling group. You can easily change your moral standings if you have no fear for reprisal. You know what that reminds me of? It's kind of like when a white rapper gets motion and then turns around and is like, I'm doing country music now because rap music is not real music. Like that type. That it's kind of like that. When you got many such cases where people will be like, I'm a rapper. Or, you know, I love black culture, guys, trust. And then like a couple months after they farm that to oblivion. And then turn around and they're like, I actually don't like rap music or black culture. It's actually a very urban and not for me. I wasn't even like on Post Malone there, by the way. He's not the only example of this. And to my knowledge, I don't even think Post Malone has like said anything negative about black people in general. There are certainly better examples of that. Nah, you basically quoted him directly. I don't know enough about Post Malone's situation to talk about Post Malone. Nah, he's fine. People just give. He's doing country now. No, he has literally said that. Oh, okay. Never mind. Anyway, but yeah. What is this? Cutie Cinderella's calling me. Hello? You're on speaker on my stream. I'm live.
No, because freaking people are joining my Discord trying to get free stickers because you watched the clip, and I just wanted to clarify that I'm not making money off of stickers.
Okay, I didn't think that you were making money off the stickers. I watched the clip and your clarification for the record.
I just, at this point, I don't know how many times I say something and then it's like the opposite thing is what everyone decides I said. And I'm like, what the hell?
Oh.
So I just wanted to clarify.
I wouldn't know what that's like.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I don't know what that lifestyle is like. It's crazy.
My ass just got a freaking root canal. I get on Twitter, all of a sudden everyone's like, she's stealing money. I'm like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh,
I'm just giving away free stickers that are cute and supporting an artist.
Oh, good luck.
And supporting victims.
Good luck. Good luck on everything, including the root canal. Hopefully, we'll see you soon.
Well, I just wanted clarification because so many people from your show, your stream, joined my Discord because they're really excited about the stickers, and I was like, I hope they know I'm not selling them. I'm giving them away for free.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure everybody knows.
Okay, no problem. None of you are getting stickers. Cutie Cinderella is farming all the money for herself. Sorry.
No, I'm not.
That's my takeaway from this convo.
Money for stickers. I'm actually gonna, when I get back from Utah, I'm going to Hasan's house and I'm stealing his clothing and we're doing an auction.
Okay.
We're gonna auction off all of his clothing and all of the money is gonna go to charity unless
it's gonna be millions.
Like charity.
There's millions of dollars
right now.
I hate charity.
Oh, well, okay. Well, never mind then.
All right. Bye, cutie.
Okay. Goodbye.
Who's gonna fit in there? It's true. You could put two people in one article of clothing. Anyway, all right, let's get back to it. Tensions erupt in Minneapolis after another shooting involving an ICE agent.
Overnight, violent crashes between federal agents and protesters in Minneapolis after a federal agent shot a man during an immigration operation. According to the Department of Homeland Security, a federal law enforcement officer shot a Venezuelan man who they say fled a traffic stop and then attacked the officer, adding that the officer fired to defend his life, hitting the man in the leg. The department also saying 2 other people assaulted the officer with a snow shovel and broom. The injured man is in custody. He and the officer were taken to the hospital. The scene quickly descending into chaos. Smoke and flashbangs filling the night sky. Agents deploying chemical irritants as demonstrators sent fireworks in their direction. ABC affiliate KSTP was on the ground as crowds gathered around the city.
The smell of those chemical irritants is definitely in the air. You can see a group of ICE agents right now. It looks like they have at least one person in custody.
This is already a very tense situation, and we do not need this to escalate any further.
Officials calling for peace, acknowledging the city is on edge.
For those that are taking the bait, you are not helping. And you are not helping the undocumented immigrants in our city.
It comes 1 week after the fatal shooting of 37-year-old American citizen and mother Renee Good. The incident sparking protests, violent scenes playing out on a daily basis, agents firing pepper spray, dragging people from cars. This newly released video shows the frantic moments as heavily armed federal agents used a battering ram to enter an immigrant family's home in Minneapolis.
Can you put the guns down? There's kids in this house. There is kids in this house. Show the warrant first.
37-year-old Garrison Gibson, an immigrant from Liberia, was facing removal for a decade-old drug conviction. But his lawyer says he has been checking in with authorities for years.
So if he's this dangerous person, then why are they letting him walk around?
And once again, the mayor here in Minneapolis saying the situation here with thousands of federal agents here on the ground is simply unsustainable. He says his officers are working tirelessly, responding to this chaos instead of focusing on basic 911 calls. George.
Faith and Booby, thanks.
A new fury has been unleashed.
Jacob Frey is such a coward. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I've already mentioned this over and over again, but like, I think they have to bring in, they have to bring in the local law enforcement, even though the Minnesota Fraternal Order of Police said that they stand firmly with ICE. Like, they have to order the cops to defend the citizens. They have to order the National Guard to defend the citizens. And the fact that they're not doing that, well, you know, eventually federalized National Guard is going to come in and not defend the citizens, you know? Like, I think what's crazy about it is, like, there are a million things that you can do at your disposal with local law enforcement that actually has more power than the federal agents here. Okay, it's your jurisdiction, it's your backyard. You could give them tickets. You know what I mean? You can issue moving violations. You can trespass them if the public knows that cops are on their side. Straight up. I know that this sounds stupid because we're talking about Minneapolis, right? Where the cops clearly weren't on the side of the public. And you know, the George Floyd assassination took place not that long ago, and then they burnt down the police precinct. But things supposedly changed after that, right? Like, this is an opportunity for local government to show that, like, yeah, these guys who your taxes pay for their salaries, they will actually defend you. They will defend you against federal incursion. I think it's wild that they're not doing that, even if it's like beneficial for their own goals. Like, if you want harmony to be, if you want there to be some kind of harmonious existence between local law enforcement and the local population, this is literally a gift. Okay, there is no way the police will defend citizens' law that goes against their own interests. I know, but at the very least, like, what they should be doing is trying to even create an environment where the cops would do the right thing, okay? And you're wrong, by the way. There have been instances where police have been deployed, like Karen Bass, as a chatter was saying, got ICE out of Hyde Park, okay, with local law enforcement. Like, there have been instances where there's been pushback. It's just not something that they're doing at all for some weird reason. They did it in Portland, too. They did it in Chicago. Brandon Johnson. So this is literally, like, in the most cynical way, this is a PR opportunity. This is an easy W for the cops to get one.
In Minneapolis. Down this street, a man from Venezuela shot by an ICE immigration officer. Just a week after a woman was shot dead by ICE, a 15-minute drive away.
Wouldn't it indicate insurrection if that did happen? Yeah, no, I'm saying force a constitutional crisis. Yes. Like, you have to force a crisis. The crisis is here. Look at what I'm looking at. Do you have eyes? That's the crisis. So you have to use every tool at your disposal to stop this. You have to push back. You can't just rely on a decentralized resistance effort from Neighborhood Watch, okay? Because that's where it's at currently. And decentralized resistance will inevitably lead to an accident or a more dangerous situation, which is an inevitability at that point, okay? And when that happens, then the National Guard will be federally mandated to go in and shooting protesters, I guess. People don't have the capacity to imagine that things could get much worse. For some weird reason, for some weird, strange reason, the way that we always approach stuff is just like, oh, this happened. Oh, who could have foreseen this? Oh, well, there was nothing we could have done. That's not the case. There's always things you can do. Okay? There's always things you can do. And it's very weird. It's just, it reminds me of the danger that I saw with Donald Trump in the election cycle, right? And just kept repeating over and over again, you're up the bag, Kamala Harris, you're up. You're making a lot of mistakes. You're behaving like this is a done deal. It's not the case. And now liberals still turn around and yell at me and act as though my warnings were just stupid. My warnings were like cynical, that I should have just assumed that Kamala had it in the bag. And then maybe she would have won. As though I have more command and more influence and more power than like Beyonce, Taylor Swift. A lack of political imagination is how I would coin it for what it's worth, or political curiosity. Yeah, our political imagination on the left flank of the two major parties, which doesn't mean that they're leftists at all, obviously, okay, is unimaginably stunted. It's stunted. Republicans have tremendous political imagination for cruelty, tremendous room for cruelty, and they invent new ways of behaving cruelly every single day. I mean, this is it. This is one of the examples. The utilization of Trump's own personal Heil Hitler Brigade, where they have basically federalized the Gestapo, their own version of the brown shirts, that are now reliant on the government dime to go and do cruelty to Trump's political enemies. That right here is political imagination on the right, okay? They're doing it. And if your response to this is we should force ICE agents to wear QR codes so that you can, like, right before they shoot you in the head, you can pull out your phone camera and take a photo of the QR code so you can get the badge number of the dude who's shooting you in the head before you get inundated with a bunch of Kalshi ads, and your phone just shuts off on its own instead of filming the process of your assassination. Like, if that's the solution to the problem, you've lost your damn mind. Thank you, Open Presents, for the 100 gifted subs. We said Project 2025 was already being implemented before Project 2025 was even formalized. We said that Trump was definitely going to pursue it, and people didn't think that that was the case. Or not people, but like the adults, the serious thinkers, made it seem as though it wasn't all that significant. I kept yelling about the anti-immigrant sentiment being fomented by the right and how it would justify tremendous atrocities on U.S. soil over and over again. I talked about it at the DNC. I warned politicians actively. I talked to them directly. I told them, if there's no pushback, if there's no organized counter messaging against this kind of stuff, people will not imagine how violent this will get until it comes knocking down their doors. All of that happened. All of that came true. It's not like I'm a particularly brilliant person, gifted with foresight. I was just operating off of what Trump was saying. I was taking it seriously. And I'm warning once again, if the government continues behaving this way and there is no local pushback, not just community resistance, which is great, but if there's no pushback whatsoever, then people are going to realize that there is no one coming to save them, and that they only have, their neighbors, and there will eventually be a person who takes matters into their own hands in self-defense, and then all hell breaks loose. If you don't want it to get to that, inevitability, you have to start using local law enforcement to, at the very least, be a nuisance, create additional hurdles that ICE must clear. This way, you get the local population to believe that the cops that are paid, the cops that get their salaries paid for by the taxpayers' taxes are actually on the side of the citizens. Nobody's coming to save us. We really do only have our neighbors. We have to organize and build actual power. Individual action will never bring us liberation. Only organized collective action. I agree with you. But I'm just saying, this is me hoping for a Band-Aid on a hemorrhaging wound in the process. Because this kind of pushback is not going to comfort people into assuming that, you know, they don't have to do anything any longer. It'll at the very least make organizing easier.
And this is the result.
You can see the ICE agents moving up, trying to expand the perimeter they have around the shooting scene.
You're saying Florida is using cops to assist ICE? Yeah, but this isn't Florida. This is a blue state, a blue city, and getting bluer by the second. And the Democratic administrations that are supposed to be defending their tax-paying citizens are just out there sending Christmas letters, dude. What? Like, I mean, you saw that Tim Walz posted. You're the governor, man. What are you doing? You're not some regular ass dude. You're the goddamn governor. You have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to protect your constituents. This is federal agitation. This is terrorism. The goal here is to dominate the masses. What good is it to literally rely? What good is it to vote for Democrats if this is what the Democrats are going to do? It's not even a strongly worded letter. Exactly. I am making a direct appeal to the president. Let's turn the temperature down. Stop this campaign of retribution. This is not who we are. This is who we are. And an appeal to Minnesotans. I know this is scary. We must speak out loudly, urgently, but also peacefully. We cannot fan the flames of chaos. That's what he wants. What a beautiful way to examine our current affairs when Tim Walz sends a letter to Donald Trump, and then instantly all of the replies are just bots selling quality leering hoodie. Those who fall behind, those who think about this in terms of like electoral victories, do not have the capacity to imagine how much worse things will get. Okay? That's why I was laughing at that one chatter who was like, oh, well, don't you think we shouldn't be saying anything until the midterms in order to secure victories in the midterms? Like, what midterms? Not only does this kind of cowardice actually annoy people, not only does this kind of lack of action piss people off, and it caused them to think, why am I voting for you then? Because you're not. But also, there might not be any midterms at all. What are we talking about? I just don't get it. I think this TikTok summarizes it good.
I'm deeply troubled by what's happening. That's why I just introduced a bill to the House that just says, no. Keep on fighting. I'm deeply troubled by the actions of evil kidnapping racism agency. If elected, I vow to only fund them $90 billion. I don't want to say this, but the bad guys. You wanted more? Whew, somebody should do something about this. It's getting pretty bad. Somebody, not me, not me. You guys should do something about this. Wow. This just shows you need to give me more money. By any votes necessary. The rise of evil baby-eating goblins in this country.
How peaceful do you as a country want to be against fascists? I mean, it's getting there is my point. And if these guys don't actually do anything, like, this is why I always laugh about the people claiming that, like, people like myself are accelerationists, right? Except Kaya is a third worldist accelerationist. Let's be real. That's true. Kaya. She's rising up against place. Hello. Hi. America is more cruel to the hungry than the fascists. Yeah. Funnily enough, the Dem admins literally aren't saying someone should do something. Maybe you. They're literally telling people to not resist. I mean, they are. They just keep saying like, well, if you do resist, like make sure it's peaceful, okay? Make sure you film it when they're beating the out of you. Okay? Make sure you at least film it on camera so we can have a good cry over it later. There is only, I mean, I happen to believe that there's a finite amount of time and there's a finite amount of punishment that people will take until they realize no one's coming to save us. We got to take matters into our own hands. Okay? And if you want to avoid that decentralized form of militancy, you have to get organized. And it's not just the people that have to get organized. I mean, there's already a general strike happening that they're calling for in Minneapolis, which I'm working to attend potentially. It's going to be on the 23rd, I think, or 20th. Wait, what day is it? I was talking to Omar Fateh about this. Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, January 23rd. Yeah. ICE out of Minnesota, a day of truth and freedom, no work, no school, no shopping, march downtown Minneapolis at 2 p.m., January 23rd. They're going to have snipers on roofs looking for you. Everyone in this chat knows this. I don't think the federal government is going to assassinate me with a sniper rifle. Famous last words, I guess. But in any case, you are protected in the crowds, okay? You are always protected among the citizens. I've been to enough protests that have turned into quote-unquote riots through police escalation of violence enough times to know that. I know how I feel. I have a question for you. I have a good question for you. Can you please answer one question, Muhammad Hazara? All right, ask the question. Inshallah, we will hear the question from Muhammad Hazara. But yeah, the point is, when you attend this kind of stuff, you realize that like when you're at the edges, you're the least safe. When you're closest to the cops, you're the least safe. When you're surrounded by the people, you're the most safe. From the outside looking in, it feels as though, what is it? Why the Iranis called themselves Persian? Dude. That's the question? Man, I don't know, dude. Yeah, because they all watched the movie Prince of Persia and they played the video game Prince of Persia. That's why. And they thought it was cool because it is a really good game. Anyway, this is unacceptable, dude. Look, the Trump-Vance administration just used your taxes to pay for an ICE agent to do this to a 21-year-old kid who was only protesting because another ICE agent killed a mother of three who was only there because ICE agents are kidnapping your neighbors.
Well, can you tell us about your injuries now and the prognosis? Will you be blind in that eye for life?
From what I've heard the doctors say and everyone else, yes, I will be blind for life. They said my globe was ruptured. I had my lower lid was cut up and they had to take skin from my temple to fix it. There's a lot to it. I don't remember all the things that they said. I have fractures in my skull that they can't fix, and I can't sneeze or cough because it's dangerous too. I remember also when I shot, there was pepper in it, and I had pepper down my throat. It made it hard to breathe for a long time. They pulled a piece of plastic the size of a nickel out of my eye. They said I had shards of metal, glass, and plastic all throughout my eye and behind my eye and in my skull. And they also said that I had a piece of shrapnel metal about a few millimeters away from my carotid artery. And they said it was a miracle I survived because if it got any closer, if it hit that, I would have died that night.
Totally blind right now? You see nothing out of the eye?
Nothing out of this eye. Yeah, it's black.
Well, can you tell?
I mean, what can you say, man? What can you say? Here, you want to see the video? In Santa Ana.
There you go. There
just shot him straight to the face. Animal. Wear goggles, or would that make it worse? No, goggles are definitely recommended. Yes, you should always wear PPE. Always. And they sometimes do have PPE that they hand out at the protest too. I responded to this call in an EMS capacity in Santa Ana. We transported the ICE officer that dragged him away. It was a surreal experience, a lack of humanity by the officers, and they were all terrified of having people see their faces. When we're taking him out of the facility, he was begging us to cover his face with a blanket and demanding an unmarked police escort. Seeing the way they behaved when they think you're on their side is so eye-opening. The other injured protesters were treated. Yeah. Cowards, dude. Can't they arrest you for passing out PPE? No, they can't. They tried to do that to the other person, but nothing came of it, for the record. If you recall, I duked it out with former friend of the show, Alex Michelson, when he was doing his like classic local news beat where he was like, this guy's a real terrorist for handing out face shields. Hello. What's that? What's that over there, huh? What's going on? What's happening? No, don't go in there. Don't go in there. Out, get out of there. Someone wants the treats. Oh, now you want to do plays. Oh, what are you doing? You licking the air? Ugh, smells terrible. Ugh. Former friend of the show? Oh, no, I'm memeing. Alex is not a former friend of the show. That was just a joke. Still a friend of the show. Anyway. El Kaya didn't catch the treat. Oh, she's so bad at that. Fish was way better at catching treats. Kaya cannot catch a treat for the life of her. If her life depended on it. It's crazy. Kaya Tola. Sexism? Sorry. It's just the truth. You call it sexism or whatever you want. But it happens to be the truth. Anyway. All right, we got more stuff to cover. Let's get back to this devastating reality in America.
Tensions were already elevated here. This will only inflame them further. Officers using flashbangs and tear gas to try and break up this crowd. 6 children were taken to hospital after the car they were in was hit with gas. Their father says they were here visiting a relative.
I don't know if it came from the bottom, came through the vent, but my car just filled up like it caught on fire.
And your kids?
My kids can't breathe. They're at the hospital.
Someone else has been shot in this.
Yeah, innocent people.
Tonight.
Innocent people, innocent kids.
Did you tell the officers what they'd done?
Yeah, I was arguing with the officer to call the ambulance for 5 minutes.
He wouldn't call the ambulance?
No, he told me to call them back and get them on the line.
Go home! Part of the anger being directed towards ICE is because of their perceived aggression, and this is doing nothing to help.
I was literally the one like this, and then I was standing closest in front. They shot me up and down, pushed me really hard.
Oh, this is the video that I already had lined up. 3 flashbangs in my car. ICE knew we were trying to leave. My 6-month-old can't breathe. Trump's goons terrorize a black family in Minneapolis to the point where EMTs have to come to help his child get away from the chaotic, dangerous scene.
Yeah, the ambulance is bringing my newborn out the house. He can't breathe. How long? 6 months. And I told him I was trying to leave. It was.
The officer knew you were trying to leave?
Yes, the officer knew I was trying to leave.
The ICE officer?
Yes. He literally called us trying to leave.
Yeah,
they 3 flashbangs at my car. Yes, they hit the outside under my car. My car. It's not even fuck the car.
For the record, this is why I jokingly say, who gives a Bortak in this situation, Because this is what Bortak and other ICE agents are doing. So excuse me if I don't feel any sympathy towards you and how piss covered your car is. Okay, it's preposterous. You have military gear. You're coming into people's neighborhoods and you're tear gassing their babies. Get out of here, dude. It's completely ridiculous. Challenge coins found in the ICE vehicle. Clip from Status Coup stream tonight of the various documents and challenge coins found in a car abandoned by ICE agents after they shot a man in Minneapolis.
Is it live? In the original shooting that happened here tonight, the ICE agent vehicles that were parked on the street in the shooting, they had to leave their cars behind because they got surrounded by protesters. One of the ICE agent vehicles got broken.
Don't show it. Wait, really? Wait, why? Stop showing this? They got banned from Twitch for showing this? Why would they ban them? Was it for this or something else? Okay, I'm stopping it. I didn't show it. Like, you can't even see anything in the clip. But it was for saying the names. That's ridiculous, dude. They're doing their job. They're doing their goddamn jobs, dude. So you can have, I'm sorry, you can have Asmongold literally every day talk about how the government should go kill protesters to show them a lesson, and he goes unbanned. But if you have actual on-the-ground reporters doing independent journalism and they ban, are you crazy? What is this platform doing, man? What are we doing? Teach them a lesson. He's even demanded people terrorize the cops if they choose to defend the Somalis. Independent doing on the ground. Instead, insane. The audio is safe to play. It has no names or info. Play the audio. I mean, there's no reason. Explain the clip. What were those papers? I assume it's just like wait, what? Going on? I can't even. Did the tweet go through? No, it didn't. People are saying it shows addresses and phone numbers. I think it has the hotel that they're staying at. Maybe that's the reason why. But it's operating procedures, contacts, maps, etc. And also challenge coins. What? Elon Musk, Mercado Media, and Status Coup need to be banned from X ASAP. They also removed them from Twitch. Their channels broke TOS. Oh my God. Show the medals at least. I'm not going to risk it. I don't want to get banned. Challenge coins are what cops and the army gives to people. They just like make it themselves. But it's a challenge coin is also known as a military coin, a unit coin, memorial coin. Commander's coin is a small coin or a medallion bearing an organization's insignia or emblem and carried by the organization's members. It's been around for a long time. I mean, they used to have it before World War I. Here are some examples of them. But cops also issue it to one another as well. It's quite controversial, as a matter of fact. At least the way that cops do it. They're basically just like, they're little trophies, sometimes issued to one another, sometimes that people pay for to issue to one another for doing an operation or whatever. Yeah, they have loot drops. I did IT for police departments. They gave me one all giddy, and I was like, why do I care? Maybe I should start carrying that for these hogs. I mean, there's not much to talk about other than the fact that people broke into the cars, apparently, after they left the cars. And maybe they broke into the car. I can show this. This is fine. There's no information on this, but...
Oh my God.
They were able to break the trunk and get the loot. Here, this was Cash Patel's challenge coin that he made for himself. Is the MAGA parent interview still happening? Yes, it's going to be happening next week, though. Yeah, it's unimaginably ugly. That is the Punisher, yes. Anyway. All right. Where was I? Showed you the family. All right, let's continue.
Me and then shot me like close with, I mean, just these things.
With what? Pepper bullets, I think?
Pepper balls, and I think maybe rubber. Yes, I love this country so much. I think it's the greatest country in the world. But what they're doing to the people, this is what they'll do to me. They'll shoot a woman in the face.
Stories of people being violently dragged from their cars or plucked from buses.
Shut up, chatters. You're talking about a dude who just got brutalized by cops and ICE, and you're over here calling him a clown. What are you doing? You're just typing it home. Okay? He's right. It's the same reason why I don't leave, okay? It's the same reason why I don't leave the United States of America. Everybody always says, Hasan, why don't you leave? Both my haters and lovers alike. Why don't you go live somewhere else? It's getting dangerous out here. This is the reason. Because I still have a firm commitment and belief that there are far too many kind-hearted people out here who can recognize right from wrong. Okay? Stop being weird. That's what's about it. Look, I don't have any, make no mistake, okay? I don't believe that, the left is ever going to win over patriotism back from the right, okay? That's not a real thing. Patriotism in the United States of America is measured by how racist you can get, okay? But if you have people out there who are trying to stop this kind of federal incursion, this kind of terrorism from happening, those are the real patriots, technically, okay? What is more patriotic than wanting to redistribute all of the productive output that we have back to the people rather than a hand-selected few billionaire parasites? That's patriotism, technically. Okay? That's what this is. If I didn't love this country, I would leave it. I have enough financial security to be able to go anywhere else I want to. Okay? Patriotism, unfortunately, in the United States of America, broadly, is mistaken with all the jingoistic, rah-rah American nationalism. But the people refuse to leave, the people that actually push back, the people that actually resist, the people that actually demand more, those are the people who actually want to do right by others, by other Americans, okay?
Stops by ICE are spreading here.
They're trying to kill our people. They're trying to take our people from our state. For what reason? We do not know why. Leave us alone. We don't need y'all here. We don't want y'all here. Go somewhere else.
I just live 3 blocks down, and what the hell is this? Look at them. They're in army fatigues. They're all lined up blocking the street, standing there with their rifles.
Can you believe this is America in 2026?
Oh, no.
I'll talk about Mahmoud Khalil in a second, too.
No way. No. I never thought. This is Nazi Germany in 1934.
3,000 ICE agents have been sent to this city by Donald.
Like, those people are not card-carrying DSA members, chat. Those are just regular-ass people. Those are regular-ass grandmas. Those are your neighbors, okay? The difference between people like that and maybe your parents is that your parents are ruraloid Oklahomans who haven't experienced this yet, okay? That's the only difference. That's the reason why they have this like entitled attitude where they look at that and go, this is exactly what I voted for. Make no mistake.
Trump to carry out his migrant crackdown.
What's your name? What's your name?
Critics say they're inadequately trained and pressured with arrest quotas to meet. It's a combustible combination, and it's being met with increasing resistance.
Yeah, look at that. That's a PSL. That's a PSL voter right there.
Nobody knows where.
Take off your mask!
Oh yeah, angry mob demands federal agents leave the Minnesota restaurant too. That was awesome.
Out of here, you fat
Un-American pieces of
Nazi piece of
Some families in Minnesota say that they're living in fear with the increased ICE presence.
And that is why one mom in Minneapolis is leading the charge.
For the record, a lot of people hear this, and if they're Trump supporters, a lot of people hear this. I'm not going to watch Crackhead Barney, dude. Her nipples are going to slip. And are you guys trying to get banned? Like, first you send me the status quo video, then you send me Crackhead Barney. What's next, dude? Link porn. Link porn right now. Let's go ban for ban, dude. Chat, links pornography. Why don't you? Let's do some porn reacts. Let's go out with a bang. God damn, dude. What's happening today? Are y'all all right? Anyway. Trump supporters look at this and go, hell yeah, put the fear of God into those illegals' hearts. Not realizing that it's not just the illegals. First of all, you shouldn't be excited at the prospect of someone who has less than you destroyed, having their lives destroyed by, you know, the federal government. That's psychotic. But even if you don't understand, like, this is not just the illegals that are being threatened here, okay? It's everybody. It's everybody. It's your neighbors.
To help families at her daughter's school. Our Her spoke with her and joins us now with her story.
Right now in Minneapolis, Destiny Prosper feels like there are just so many questions lingering, but the mom in her is searching nonstop for an answer.
Families are struggling as is to put dinner on the table. And then we add in the increased ICE presence here in the Twin Cities. Folks are afraid to leave their home, and they're not getting their basic needs met. Now our kids can't go to school out of fear.
Destiny's been thinking of ways to help families at her daughter's school, Jenny Lind Elementary in North Minneapolis. Students in Minneapolis public schools have the option right now to learn virtually for the next month if they feel safer doing so with the increased ICE presence locally.
Even though my child isn't, say, directly affected, her friends aren't there. She's noticing, Mom, where is so-and-so? They didn't come to school. And it hurts that I have to have that conversation with my 6-year-old.
Destiny decided the answer is action. She launched a GoFundMe to raise money for families at the school who need some help, and will even deliver necessities to people's homes if she has to.
You are a part of our community. I think that's the biggest thing, is that these families are feeling singled out. They're feeling like they don't belong. And one thing I've learned being here in the wonderful state of Minnesota and in Minneapolis is we all belong here.
She says others are already quickly jumping in to help her as well. So any of the negative comments she may have gotten for doing this won't stop her, and she'll continue to work hard like a mother.
This is for the kids. Like, we've gotten this far. There's no turning back now. No turning back now.
In Minneapolis, Her, Fox 9.
And Destiny did say that she has talked with school administration, and they have been pretty helpful.
Yeah, she says the gift cards to give to families can also be a big help, as well as just volunteering their time to deliver. If you'd like to help out, her information is on a GoFundMe at fox9.com.
We're outside the Federal Whipple building, and it's been getting a bit tense.
Protests continue to engulf Minneapolis 1 week after ICE officer Jonathan Ross shot and killed Renee Nicole Good. Federal officials say that the shooting...
My 67-year-old moderate live farmer mom from rural Kentucky is open to attending her first protest. She's nervous about protesting, but has been angry for a long time. I'm proud of her. Yeah. Dude, I swear to God, it's more boomers than anything else. It's kind of crazy. Stop saying 6'7". Oh my God, this chat, y'all are stupid. I'm telling you, dude, it's wine moms, dude. It's the Karen Vanguard, white woman Vanguard. It's crazy. Like the people that have been straight blue ticket voters who think like, oh, I'm moderate. Like those are the people, and the non-voters too. Those are the people who are pissed off. There's real opportunity here for those who can seize it. Kind of feels like Democrats as a party are not even remotely invested in seizing it, though, because they keep saying we have no options here. We've run out of options. We have no way to respond to any of this. You know, it's not going to work.
With self-defense.
What are you doing?
Tensions here have been mounting for a month.
Are you bored, lady? Is that what it is? You didn't get your energy out this morning? Okay. Kaya, okay. Come. Hold on. Ooh. Saw a little clump. Okay, let's get, all right. Barbara here, just throwing my local rapper response on the West Coast. Hell yeah.
Ever since a surge in immigration enforcement brought thousands of ICE agents into the city, hundreds more are expected this week.
Democrats are punishing the voters for not voting for Kamala? No. The Democratic Party is just cowardly. They don't even care about like being vindictive here, okay? That's not the case. I think they're pussies. They're cowards, okay? They're babies. They think, you know, if they roll over, if they keel over and you know, really get the Americans to realize what the Republicans are, maybe they'll eke out a marginal victory. I don't think that's going to be successful. There's tremendous discontent towards the Democrats as well. Okay? But when I'm talking about like the Democratic voters, a lot of the liberals are actually waking up. They're waking up because we didn't see this in 2016 because of the liberalized version of resistance, the hashtag resistance that took place that treated Trump as an aberration and not like a logical conclusion to American fascism. That said, this is not us. This is not who we are. Liberals basically were able to soothe themselves into believing that the liberalized version of resistance was enough and that the Democrats were actually seizing on that opportunity at the time and therefore thought voting for the Democrats would be the best possible way to solve this issue. Okay? Now, and you might have been too... you might have been too how do I call it? How do I say? You might have been too young, some of you, not all of you, but you might have been too checked out of politics at the time. But we observed all of this stuff that was going on back then. Okay? And then 2020 came around. And after the defeat in 2024, I think a lot of liberals who are lifelong Democrat Party voters realized maybe the Democrats are lying to us, and this whole like centrism, hugging and kissing Liz Cheney, avoiding talking about Gaza while, you know, participating in all this stuff was maybe not the most effective way to go about it. The whole like lesser evil voting as the modus operandi for the Democratic Party was ineffective. It was unsuccessful. And now you're seeing the Bernie-crat movement within the ranks of the Democrats. Now, it doesn't go far enough by my estimation, even though I will still respect Bernie for, at the very least, like standing by and letting, you know, far more radical candidates come out. Like he does actually prop them up, whether it be Zohran Mamdani, Abdul El-Sayed, candidates that have better positions than Bernie does on American foreign policy from time to time. Or even on certain issues, right? So liberals have been very, very positive towards candidates such as that one. I think Bernie Sanders' take on a lot of these issues, like Medicare for all, things of that nature, no like identity politics infused sinister messaging. This kind of attitude is actually broadly received by the base of liberal voters as a positive, as a better mechanism for change, as a better way to win elections. LAOC, this was a great position on AOC's part. You guys are wrong. And David Shore has to bend the knee here as well. Well, Mr. Popularist, we recently tested a dozen public statements from a diverse set of Democratic elected officials on the murder of Renee Good, and this was the top testing one. I wonder what this one looked like. When Pablo Reports asked Elisa Slotkin the same question, this is how she responded.
Senator, I'm sorry if you've already been asked this, but where are you at on ICE funding? And do you support increases to ICE funding?
I mean, they had a massive increase with the big, beautiful bill, and my issue is not just the quantity, but the left and right limits that they have to employ with all these new officers and all this new training. So I am certainly undecided on voting for any homeland funding package.
Are there any specific rights?
More like Elisa Slopkin, am I right? I mean, dude, come on. Come on. Get off the pot. What do you mean you're certainly undecided? Who still thinks this kind of messaging works? Who are these guys talking to? Whoa, Kaya, what? You know, your big old ass, you're gonna... Who are these guys communicating this message to? Ain't nobody's receiving this positively.
You'd like to see?
There's a couple things I'm interested in, but that's for internal negotiation.
We'll ask again next week.
Senator, I know you're not endorsing in the Senate primary.
Senator, I'm sorry if you've already been asked.
I hate so much. The pathetic groveling continues. I know. I'm going to get to that in a second. Hold on. Let's finish this video and then I'll get to it.
Now, Minneapolis finds itself at the center of an escalating standoff between federal and local government. Just this week, 6 federal prosecutors resigned amid pressure to treat...
My boomer parents are suburban, lifelong conservatives, petite Borgs, and they're fully supportive of everything in the Trump admin across the board. I can't help but feel like most white people are like them. Yeah, that's because their suburbs haven't been impacted. Someone that they know hasn't actually been on the receiving end. The Trump administration is very careful not to do these kinds of raids in like super rich neighborhoods where they, hire some help or, kidnap landscapers, right? So they're insulated from the worst aspects of this cruelty. And therefore, they just keep assuming that things are fine, that this is good. It's like somewhere out there, other people are getting dominated. Some of those people, is it still a bannable offense to be from Naperville? Yes. Yes, I'm banning everybody from Naperville. Not everyone is like that. Not everyone is like that. And, moments like the Renee Good assassination wake a lot of people up, even if they are in the suburbs, Having said that, however, there's always going to be some people who are irredeemable,
Good's death as an assault on a federal officer.
This appears as an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents, an act of domestic terrorism.
To Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara, the shooting was inevitable.
The biggest thing that I am afraid of that is real is that we can have a tragedy happen in this city.
O'Hara took over the Minneapolis Police Department in 2022, 2 years after George Floyd was killed by police.
Yeah, remember Abundance and the 107 Reasons Why It's Not My Fault? Books made to satisfy the anger of liberal voters and de-radicalize them while offering them nothing tangible. That worked in 2017. It did not work this time. As much as they pushed Ezra Klein, became irrelevant in less than a year. No, they're still pushing it, and they'll continue pushing it, right? That's not going to stop anytime soon. They did this with they keep trying to slap on new paint, a fresh coat of paint to the same this third way neoliberalism. David Shore's popularism is one of those examples as well, where they constantly shy away from figuring out how popular it is to say Israel. They shy away from figuring out how popular it is to say private health care. We need Medicare for all. They shy away from how popular it is to say no military intervention, no more military adventurism, an anti-war position. It's weird how the popularists are always trying to figure out what's popular within the confines of the pre-existing Democratic Party's mandate. Okay? They don't want to say how popular it is when it comes down to ICE, abolish ICE. That's it. It's just same different day. They're trying to say the same in a different way. That's all this is. Okay? And maybe they get some people, maybe they dupe some people, maybe they delude some people. That's why I get really annoyed with like liberal commentariat that spend every waking moment trying to say it was the left that is the reason why Kamala lost. Oh, y'all still happy about your protest vote or whatever, imagining an unsatisfied voter that doesn't even exist. If you look at the actual data, they did the same exact thing with Hillary Rodham Clinton's defeat as well. And it's even more laughable this time around because it was up back then too when they were like, oh, the Bernie bros caused Hillary Rodham Clinton to lose. And it was really interesting to say that because the operating principle there is, once again, I am owed your vote, right? That's just not how people go out and vote. The competition here isn't between those who vote for the Republicans over the Democrats. The competition is between those who want to vote for the Democrats versus versus voting for the couch. Okay? People who don't vote could be urged to go out and vote for the Democrats, but you just have to sweeten the deal. And the fundamental principle of democracy is that you're supposed to extract concessions from your elected representatives. Your elected representatives have to market themselves to you, have to tell you, we're going to do things for you, okay? We're going to help you. Here's how. But the Democrats completely refuse to do that. Every single time the election comes around, they just keep going harm reduction, harm reduction, harm reduction. So that's why no matter how much people on the pod Johns here, I still have a little bit of sympathy for them because I think they've also recognized that things have to change, you know, and they've had their own personal defeats in the past as well. They've had their own personal problems in the past as well. But at least, unlike many of the other liberal commentariat, they recognize that there needs to be a coalition here. It's not about like yelling about the left over and over again, but instead about trying to build a movement. And they're not standing in the way, but instead opening up new avenues to bring these guys into the Democratic Party, the Bernie-crats and the like. So that's why I have all smoke for liberals who are still trying to do sectarian infighting to try to claim that it was actually the left that didn't vote hard enough for Kamala Harris and that's why she lost. Just a pathetic group of people that are still 39 years after the Japanese occupation ended, behaving like one of those imperial fascists in the island of the Philippines, you know? Just still fighting a dying battle, a lost cause. The base has moved beyond them. The base of voters have moved beyond them. They've moved past them. And they're speaking to an increasingly smaller audience of party dick riders at a time when the party is experiencing unprecedented unpopularity. They're not asking the question, why? Okay? They do not realize that this attitude is not only unproductive, but harmful, because if the party consistently goes back to those commentary people and uses them as their primary mechanism of communicating with the audience, they're not going to be able to speak to a broader base of support ever. You're describing the comment section in 90% of our politics. I know there is definitely, they exist online. They are just as marginal as the MAGA base is. Okay. You understand? You need to understand. These are the real people, the people that see what's going on and pissed off enough to go out and take it to the streets. That's where the actual base is at, on the left flank. Okay? That's where the actual base is. They're not subreddits talking about how, oh, the left is the reason why Kamala lost. Y'all should have voted for Kamala. That's not a real sentiment being shared by a lot of people. Okay? They're marginal. Just like the people who look to Renee Good getting assassinated in broad daylight and said, this is exactly what I voted for. We should be killing more of these like queer white women. Hell yeah. That's not a real constituency. Now that might be a bigger constituency than the liberals who are still entertaining the vote blue no matter who narratives, right? But that's not a ginormous constituency either. That's copium? No, it's not. I promise you it's not. You're talking about 20% of the country versus like 3% of the country, but that's still 20% of the country. Okay? If the MAGA base is 20% of the country, okay, the liberal like vote blue no matter who is like 3% of the country that is still complaining about Kamala's defeat. Most people have moved on. They're dialed in. They're locked in on what's happening in front of them. They're looking at fascism unfolding in front of their eyes, and they obviously hate it. So much so that they are taking matters into their own hands. So just don't pay attention to the liberals that like that. Every now and then they try to get mad and try to chirp a little bit, but until it reaches a certain point where it's a nuisance for me, I don't really talk about it at all. Okay? New Emerson poll on Texas Senate Democratic primary. Overall, 47% for James Tallarico, 38% for Crockett. Latinos, Tallarico has a plus 34 boost. On the whites, Tallarico has plus 29. Independents, plus 29. For Democrat voters in general, Crockett has a 1 point advantage. And for black voters in the state of Texas in the Senate Democratic primary, Crockett has a plus 72 boost. God damn. I will say this one more time. I will repeat this over and over again. If Tallarico ends up winning the primaries, I promise you, the black voters, the black Democratic primary voters that voted for Jasmine Crockett will still vote for Tallarico. They are diehard Fedayeen. They're not going to pull out. Okay? They are the most reliable voting bloc for harm reduction narratives, for harm reduction voting. The same would have happened with Bernie Sanders as well, even though we never got to experience it. I've been burned so much in the past with Texas politics, they ain't going to win. I mean, they're probably still going to lose to the Republicans. We're talking about the primary. Tweeter in chief when it comes to policy, Gavin Newsom, whom many consider to be a frontrunner for the Democratic nomination, is working to stop a billionaire's tax. Newsom, closely aligned with Silicon Valley, is pitted against California's top labor unions. Fascinating 2028 ramifications. He knows where his bread is buttered at the end of the day. This is why I don't trust him. Why ain't you have him on, bro? I mean, I've talked to his team. I know there's a HasanAbi. There's a couple HasanAbi heads in his team. I've been talking to his team, but he's been ducking me. I tweeted it out earlier. I said, I have an open invite for California governor as a tax-paying California citizen and a mutual fan of Fortnite Friday. Jonathan Kahn says, has Gavin ever sat down with a left-wing podcaster who would ask him actually tough questions? The answer is no. At most, it was like Atriok and them. And they didn't hold his feet to the fire. And the most tough questions he actually received was from Connor on Fortnite Friday. Here's the tweet if you want to blast it. He was sit down with Charlie Kirk before you. He has sat down with Charlie Kirk before me. Didn't he call you a free spirit? No, he said I was a remarkable person or something, but I think that was just glaze.
We've been stuck over the last several weeks as the local police kind of getting dragged into the middle of these situations where there's community that's angry and frustrated about what's happening.
Do you work with ICE?
No, there's a separation ordinance.
Wall Street Journal doing a ride along with
We
cops.
have nothing to do with
Always expect the Wall Street Journal to find the worst angle to cover the story. Every other outlet that we looked at is talking to the protesters, talking to regular people, showing how angry they are. Wall Street Journal is like, who can we go to here?
the federal actions that are taking place. But then when our cops show up, the people who are protesting then turn their frustration and their anger on our cops. We have been trying for the last few years very intentionally to try and rebuild trust with all of our residents in the city because of what happened here 5 years ago. And the concern is when we have outsiders coming into our town wearing vests that say police, engaging in methods that are both unsafe, but also that are just questionable, acting like to people on the street. I mean, it's just damaging to the reputation of all of law enforcement. Not acting like a professional on the street, talking to people in ways that are not respectful.
Where do you think this is gonna go next?
What this should lead to is somebody in charge taking a look at things objectively and saying, hey, maybe we need to look at our procedures. Hey, maybe this actually was preventable. That's what police agencies have been doing in this country for many years. The situation that we're in, it feels almost like things are kind of upside down.
What happened to Good wasn't an isolated incident. The Journal identified 12 other instances of federal immigration agents firing at or into vehicles since July. And one other resulted.
The National Police Association and the police union both publicly supported ICE and put the fault on the protesters. This guy's a minority position. I mean, he's the police chief at the end of the day. It's good that he's saying this stuff. Yeah, a Border Patrol agent scans the face of a driver as they stop and question him on the street during an immigration enforcement operation in Minneapolis on January 13th, 2026. Utterly dystopian. If I had accused the Republicans of wanting this world 5 years ago, I'd have been accused of lying and exaggerating. It's ironic because I did say it over and over again. And yes, David J. Byer of the Cato Institute is not wrong. They did say I was exaggerating all the goddamn time, as a matter of fact. I was saying this nonstop. Part of the reason why I was saying this is because, and this is how it's gone historically, what we do over there inevitably comes here, okay? That's the imperialist boomerang, okay? That's how it always works. First, we see this kind of stuff happening to Arabs in countries like Iraq or in places like Afghanistan to the people that we are destroying and dominating, okay, with our imperialism. Then we watch it happen and unfold to Palestinians in even worse ways, if you want to understand how much worse it's going to get. And then inevitably, those are the testing grounds for this kind of enforcement. Inevitably, it makes its way to the home front. It makes its way to the domestic battle. All that right-wing talk since the 1990s about the danger of a violent, unaccountable federal government whose agents would one day gun down Americans in the streets. I foolishly thought that was a warning, but it turns out it was more of a promise that they were making. Yeah, the pic comes from here, by the way, from The Atlantic. 4 photos to describe to you the month of January in 2026. 1 year into the Burger Reich. The first year of the Trump Burger Reich has not even been completed. There's 5 more days. This is the best graph to show the imperial boomerang. Imperial boomerang, when tactics of colonial rule exported abroad or imported back home. U.S. troops left Iraq. Their combat gear went to the police. Oh, yeah. Wait, you guys want to see something? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find the coverage that I did on this. because I did an article on this way back in the day under Obama. Does anyone have the video? I think there's got to be a video out there somewhere talking about the buyback programs that Obama engaged in. Oh, bungler. That's when I discovered you, lol. I wonder if I can find the video. But yeah, I mean, you can see it visually represented in front of you in these graphs. I forget the name of this program now. What was it called? What is this? And that we should do buyback programs. Have buyback plans where there's like gun buyback schemes where I could just like take the gun there. No, those are gun buyback programs that I've talked about. No, there's a 1033, right? Yeah. God, Google search has gotten so much worse. Hasan Piker during his time at the like AI overview shows it, but nothing else. Look at this. Like, what is this? What are these links? I said Obama buyback program, Hasan Piker, the Young Turks 1033. Hasan Piker during his time at the Young Turks likely discussed the 1033 program, which allows the transfer of surplus U.S. military equipment. Click the source, boomer. This is not a source. It's just bolded. Anyway, whatever. No, the little icon ink below the paragraph. Wait, what? What? Where? Oh, this? No, that's a gun buyback program. That's not the one. These are the links that it shows. It's not the right one. You're trolling, right? Links on the right side is show all. No, it doesn't show anything. Stop asking not to politicize gun violence when it's a political problem. Is not the right video that I was thinking of. It can't find it. It's fine. I can't find it. Who cares? Yeah, whatever. Oh, God, Google is ass. To be fair, though, I've done too many. I've done too many videos, let's be real.
DHS told the Journal that in all of these incidents, the officer acted in self-defense because the drivers were using their cars as deadly weapons. The spokesperson called the chief's remarks, quote, disgusting, and said this rhetoric encouraged assaults on officers.
Our ICE officers and our CBP officers are seeing highly coordinated campaign of violence against them. They still need to be able to carry out those operations. We do have to send those federal reinforcements so that we can continue with these operations and make sure that people and our law enforcement are safe.
Across the Twin Cities, a vast network of volunteers have mobilized to track federal agents.
Yeah, I'm not beating. You guys are all here.
It's pretty wild to look at all this and go, yeah, base, by the way. I genuinely can't understand how inhumane you must be, how monstrous of a piece you must be to look at all this chaos unfolding and go, this is awesome.
I'm not beating. Go back to your vehicle.
Found your take. It's from 2017. It's definitely not the right clip. It's thank you. Free use femboy. Week off for you. I knew that it was a poop sock. I clicked on it. Take a week off.
Me, bro. Let's do this. Drop your weapons. Let's do this. Get out. Go ahead.
The day after Good was shot, we joined Amanda Kohler and St. Paul City Council member Hwa-Jong Kim on an ice-watching patrol.
Hey, this is Amanda and Hwa-Jong. We're heading from North End towards Midway, unless you need us elsewhere.
Right now, they're looking for cars that they think might belong to ICE.
Could I get a plate check, please? I look at cars very closely now.
If the license plate comes up on a database compiled by activists, they'll sound the alarm.
You're hearing just a really incredible organized level of response in our neighborhood.
Hey, dispatch, I have 2 white men in military fatigue driving a white I'm hoping they will pass me here so I can get a plate.
In St. Paul, we have about 17 neighborhoods, and right now most of them have a neighborhood signal chat.
When ICE activity is confirmed, volunteers blow whistles and honk car horns to warn immigrants in the area. Others follow ICE cars to the location of the raid. DHS has described these actions as interference by rioters and agitators.
Get the f out of here!
Is there a concern that the movement's being co-opted by people who are not sort of operating, who have not been operating the way that you have for the last month?
Frankly, different people have different spice levels, is how I talk about it. I am personally very committed and preach nonviolence, for not just because of ethics, but because I think it's what's strategic. I don't want to give them any ground to claim that anything they do is justified. I'm not there to intervene. I'm there to just get that person's name so we can make sure that person gets legal support and their family gets notified. And I'm there to make it take as much time as possible. So whether that's blowing a whistle to annoy them or even just like making small talk. And I understand that I'm not gonna like stop them from doing something in the moment, but I can certainly slow them down.
Okay, whoever's mobile, get after him!
Here at home, a protester blinded by a non-lethal.
All right, we covered this already. Okay.
Now to break.
Mahmoud Khalil, the decision to free Mahmoud Khalil has been reversed by a federal appeals court.
Breaking news, a federal appeals court has reversed a decision that freed Mahmoud Khalil, the former Columbia University student and activist. Khalil, a green card holder, was a leader of the pro-Palestinian movement at the university. Immigration agents arrested him in March on charges that he aligned with Hamas. Khalil denied it. He was detained for 3 months before a New Jersey judge ordered him released. Well, now the appeals court has ruled the judge did not have jurisdiction to do so. That could allow the government to detain Khalil again. He released a statement saying the ruling is disappointing, but he will continue to fight.
Rising tensions. Insane, dude. Zoran had a statement on it. I retweeted it. Last year's arrest of Mahmoud Khalil was more than just a chilling act of political repression. It was an attack on all of our constitutional rights. Now, as a crackdown on pro-Palestinian free speech continues, Mahmoud is being threatened with rearrest. Mahmoud is free and must remain free. Yeah, they're not going to let it go. The government is still trying to make a active battle out of this because, as I've said over and over again, this is the number one Israel dick-eating government of all time. Literally, we cannot, we basically gag ourselves on Israeli penis. This government is just choking on it on a daily basis, fighting one another to be the first to suck it. It's disgusting. And of course, the secretary, Marco Rubio, for the fake news peddling misinformation about the appellate ruling for Mahmoud Khalil. Here is our stance in simple terms. If you sympathize with terrorists, your presence is contrary to the national and foreign policy interests of the United States. You are not welcome here. Fake news. Yeah, we have the most insatiable appetite for gagging on Israel to the best of our ability. It's like, please, sir, can I have some more? I will choke if my lungs are not filled with Israel. It's not even just the Israel stuff, though, right? Aren't they still going after Kilmar, Brega, Garcia? The government simply can't accept that they're wrong. Yes. If you have a green card, you must support Israel to stay here is the point here. But basically, listen, this is not even just about Israel, as I brought up in the Mahmoud Khalil situation, and many people didn't understand it. Just like the ICE stuff is not just about, is never really about like apprehending criminal migrants or whatever. Okay? This is just the entry point. You're opening the door to violating people's First Amendment rights. This is the way that this administration under Project Esther, which is a subsection of Project 2025, have decided is how they're going to go about destroying constitutionally protected freedom of speech. They know that the best possible way to tackle it is the only avenue where there is a tremendous amount of influence, which is anti-Semitism. Okay? Anti-Semitism is bipartisan. People attacking those who criticize Israel as anti-Semites is a bipartisan position. This is precisely the reason why 3,500 college campus student protesters were arrested for daring to maintain the now popular position on Israel. Okay? Like Secretary of State Marco Rubio said, Mahmoud Khalil's detention and potential deportation are not about free speech, adding that his visa would have not been approved had officials known he would organize Gaza war protests. You understand that this is ridiculous, right? You can't do a post hoc rationalization to deny someone a green card. What's next? Denaturalization? What if Mahmoud Khalil had not organized Gaza protests after he became a naturalized U.S. citizen? Do you take away his citizenship? All of it is illegal, for the record. What Marco Rubio is saying here is illegal. Make no mistake. Yeah, I mean, we already know pretty close to confirmation that Israelis are spying on college campuses and sending that information to members of Congress. Yes. Black Nest, inside Canary Mission secret web of unlisted sites. One Canary Mission affiliated website, Black Nest, reveals the group's internal operations, plans to expand, and how they celebrate deportations and firings. In fact, and evidence-based profiles attack the messenger, not the message. Anonymity as a tool to scare the enemy, providing real consequences for anti-Semitism and anti-Israel activism, data-driven expertise in North American anti-Semitism, impact-driven, we change the behavior of the enemy, bottom-up approach, using individuals to take down orgs, we are the adult in the room. When an Egyptian writer wrote for The Nation about having to flee the U.S. after the arrest of Mahmoud Khalil, Canary Mission celebrated their high-impact role in its self-deportation and internal trackers. This is after 100 gigs of data from unlisted websites was found. These websites are associated with Canary Mission, which revealed their internal workings. DropSite documented this, which revealed their internal workings